Okay, C programming tutorial. Right, I'm making this video on a mobile phone for the ease of everyone, especially those who have a laptop, and also based on the complexity and size of the video I'll make on the laptop. So that's I'm using a mobile phone compiler. Alright, so I'll mention a couple of app apps that you can download to run C programming and other programming languages on your phone. Alright, in this video, right now I'm using one of the apps, and this particular one I'm using right now is called Decoder. Okay, so let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to talk about when starting a C program, I'll first talk about the syntax of C program. And what do I mean by syntax? Syntax is like the format, the um, the skeleton, something like a skeleton of the C program. That means everything that needs to be in place when you want to write a C program. And what are the syntax? What are the things that need to be in place? I'm going to type them one by one. I'm going to explain. Alright, the first thing is to type the include just like it sounds. Include, you want to include, so I want to bring something in, and what I will bring in here is called the standard input output. So I'm not so used with writing this for. So let me bring this down. Alright, so this is standard input output. It is used to start your code so that your code, your program will be able to accept input and output. And then the next thing, I don't want to make this video unnecessarily long, is to define the method. This is called method. I'm not done, I just finished. I call it braces. I'm going to break this down. This is called method. So every program language has this method. So far it is a programming language, apart from HTML, CSS, which are not actually programming languages per se. But programming language, many programming or most programming languages have this method, and everything you're going to write, everything you're going to do must be inside the main method. So inside the let's go up a bit, and then after this method, before the closure of the method, I'm going to put something which is called a return. Returning 0, it returns your code. In other words, it's after bringing the output, it returns the work back to you. That means it has finished its own work, its own program, its own agenda, and it's like returning the button to you. Like, okay, what next do you want to do? All right, and you will actually know the benefit of this when you run code on the laptop. If you run code on the laptop and then there's an error, even when you put return 0 and there's an error in your program, it will not return 0, it will return 1. 1 means this looks like true and false. No, 0 is false and then 1 is true. So when it returns 1, there is an error in your code somewhere. So when it spots an error, to tell you where the error is, especially if you're using a compiler like VS Code, Visual Studio Code, and that's what I use. So it returns to you that okay, there's an error. So when it returns true, it returns an error. When it returns false, it returns 0. So when your program runs successfully, it will write into just put return 0 and then it gives you the output of your code. So these are the main components. Okay, let me just put so that it shouldn't just be useless code. Alright, so I'm going to do something. Let's print something. So I'm going to print, what should I print? I'm going to open. So these are just things that you should note. That, let's say my, or let me put hello study buddies. So I just put hello study buddies, and then at the end of this I'm going to really put a semicolon. Alright, and what does this printf do? Printf prints something to your console. It prints whatever you put in the braces to your console. Let's run this and see what I'm talking about. You can see print hello study buddies and then process finished. It's on laptop, for example, especially for a compiler like VS Code. After this process, instead of writing process finished, you write return 0. So it has returned. But when it returns 1, means there is an error in your code, and it won't bring an output to start with. So you already know that there's an error. So this is just the syntax of C programming.